Hello, my name is Brian Noble, CEO of Family Policy Institute of Washington.
And I'm Brad Payne, President of FPIW Action.
A couple of disclaimers before we get started. Nothing in this video should be construed as an endorsement of the candidate, nor the candidate's endorsement of FPIW or FPIW Action. It's simply a public service to meet and greet the candidate. Also, this will be pre-recorded and posted on several platforms. Brad.
All right. Well, Emily, thank you for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. So my first question is kind of three parts. One is just to state your name and the position you're running for our listeners. And then following up with that, if you just give us a little bit of background about you, and then maybe tell us a little bit about your family.
Oh, okay. Happy to do that. My name is Emily Tadlock, and I'm running for position 1 in the 41st Legislative District. And because I think we need a counterbalance in Olympia. And the 41st Legislative District encompasses all of Mercer Island and all of Newcastle and parts of Bellevue and Issaquah and Sammamish. And so it's got a wide swath. And I've lived here most of my life. And I believe I have a strong pulse on what the people in the 41st constituents want out of their legislature. And for example, they want excellence in schools, and they want the schools to be teaching the core topics and to help their children be staged for success in life. And we have had significant drops in enrollment in all the schools in the 41st. So we need to make our public schools competitive and use free market principles to increase alternative learning environments for our children. And
Awesome.
they also want to keep businesses and people in Washington and make living here more affordable by increasing small businesses' growth and simplifying the regulations, permitting processes, and taxes wherever possible. And they also want to ensure the safety of our communities by supporting the police and enforcing the laws and prosecuting those dealing in hard drugs such as fentanyl, because we have a fentanyl crisis throughout our state. I'm married and I live in Mercer Island with my husband, and between the two of us, we have 4 children who all live in the Pacific Northwest region, and 2 of them in Seattle. And 2 of my 3 siblings live in the 41st. So again, I have deep roots here, and I believe one of my strongest selling points is that I'm not a career politician. The founding fathers created our republic with the idea that we, the people, would govern and not an elite class. And I'm that vehicle. I will bring to Olympia a new perspective, and we'll focus on result-driven policies rather than agenda-driven policies wherever possible. And here's my tagline: politicians are like socks, and they need to be changed every once in a while.
All righty. That's a good tagline. What's motivating you to run for office? You mentioned a few things here, but if there's a couple others you'd like to discuss, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, if not me, who? If not now, when? Because my opponent has been in office for 14 years, and many of the bills that she's presented and voted on have been overturned by the citizens via the initiative process. For example, parents' rights and the Restore Police Pursuit legislation. So we need a balance of decision makers in Olympia, and because a diversity of thought is needed to create realistic and fair legislation. And the Democrats are a few seats away from a supermajority. And with that supermajority, they would be able to pass a budget without a single Republican signature. And they would also have enough signatures to amend our state constitution and defang the citizens' initiative process, which is the citizens' check and balance on their overreaching legislation. So I'm running for office because we all must serve in some fashion.
There's a little
And
kitty.
sorry, I have a photo bomb from my cat here.
That's
And we
okay.
need to re-engage in the process of self-governance.
Okay. Brad.
Right. Well, third question, kind of another two-parter. One is, legislatively speaking, what are 1 or 2 concerns or issues that you could highlight? I know there's a lot of them, but for time's sake, 1 or 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope I'm not
What you hope
taking.
to accomplish in office if you're elected. So,
Well, a priority is to improve public safety by holding criminals accountable and targeting gangs and gang-related crimes, and stopping the distribution of hard drugs like fentanyl into our streets. We've seen a 96% increase in homicides from 2019 to 2022. And Washington is number 1 in retail theft, number 2 in property crime, and number 3 in motor vehicle theft. If we want these numbers to be reduced, then we need to hold criminals accountable, enforce the laws, and come up with real solutions to our homelessness crisis. Housing first policies are not working. So I will prioritize funding for law enforcement and increase incentives that create more economic opportunities and real solutions to our homelessness crisis by addressing addiction and mental health issues. And like I mentioned earlier, I want to improve the outcomes in public education by refocusing on teaching the core topics and prioritizing academic rigor rather than in grade inflation, which robs committed students from distinguishing themselves academically. We've seen 60,000 students leave public schools since 2020, and only 39% of the students in Washington meet the math standards. 30% of Bellevue students and 22% of Mercer Island students are enrolled in private schools. So there's obviously a desire for parents they don't think the public schools are meeting the needs. And I'm suggesting we provide or apply some free market principles to provide alternative learning environments to children, such as public charter schools and education expending accounts, which will allow parents of special needs children to pay for tutoring to help their children get the special attention that they need.
And our fourth and final question is, FPIW and FPIW Action presented you with 18 of our issues that we like to work on. You've mentioned about 5 or 6 of them already. So
Yeah.
any other ones that you want to have a final comment on, and then we'll wrap things up.
Well, I loved all of them, and especially the individual freedom, I think is very important, religious liberty, and again, the homelessness, addiction recovery, and tax control. So, but yeah, you guys are doing great work, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Emily, thank you so much. I know that looking over that list, we could go on and on. Time doesn't allow us to, but thank you so much for sharing your views this afternoon. We appreciate your time out of your schedule to meet with us, and best of wishes in your
Yeah,
campaign.
well, thank you for doing the work you do.
All right. Well, I'm Brad Payne with FPIW Action.
And I'm Brian Noble with FPIW. Just a simple reminder that nothing in this video is considered an endorsement of the candidate, nor the candidate's endorsement of FPIW or FPIW Action. Like we like to say around here, love your neighbor by faithfully stewarding the public square. And if you are an FPIW defender, go out there and defend and advance biblical values in the public square.